Hello. So we're going to be testing the segments that I've been putting together from the old FPS creator stock. Let's see what we got. I've been working on the different themes. So there's like medieval, sci-fi, modern, um, and the World War II stuff. But we're going to start with the modern, just so I can show you what a complete corridor space could look like. I don't have the BMPs set up for these, the bitmap files, but in any case, so you start off by using the snapping mode. Let me just delete this. If you see down here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but where it says normal, to switch this you press B, and now it's at snap. Snapping makes all the objects snap to each other. One needs to be there to begin with. And then you have grid. And we're going to use the grid. And I believe the grid uses the same dimensions maybe as FPSC. I might be wrong, but it works the best. You just you place it down and there it is. Now if you want to draw them, you would hold shift to do that. The problem is you can't hold shift and just draw like you could in FPS Creator. I don't know why that is actually. Not sure. So it's tedious. There's different variants of this one I have put together. These were all done by, I believe, Bond 1 made these. You see these have cracks in them. One's over here. Yeah, so it is a bit tedious because you cannot draw like you could in FPS Creator, so you have to kind of just click, click, click. And if you keep clicking too much, they actually will start stacking, so, you know, it doesn't work the way you would expect it to yet. That's because the focus hasn't been on segments. We've tried two different prototypes. The construction kit, which looked like Minecraft, or more like the Fallout 4 kind of settlement building thing, where you're actually like in the game and trying to like somehow build stuff around the pivot point of the player, and it was just that's not something I would ever feel comfortable with building actual game with. I mean, that'd be a cool thing to have within the game that someone made, maybe, but I would not want that as being the only way to really put things together for interiors. So now that we have this, I made some walls, again using the original stuff from FPS Creator. Now you see how it's moving into the middle of each grid, so that this is when you switch to snap. I might have to alter these models again in Frag Motion because I'll show you what might be the problem. So let's go here. See how it goes in to it? Now, I guess that's fine. Now you hold shift. And it just works. I mean, because I believe the grid is using the same, or sorry, the original grid that the floor is based on, I think is from FPS Creator, so the dimensions are the same as that. So so now we've done a corner, and if you look at it, it's not clipping, so it's actually working out pretty well, even though it's going through. The person playing the game is not going to see it unless they're on the other side of it, as you see there. So you're going to have to build like some type of exterior, or I'm going to have to fix it so it's raised above. I don't suggest moving these independently from the grid because you're never going to get them perfect. I'll show you what I mean. Like say you turned off the grid and you just place them on your own. it's gonna just be trouble because the widget is not fun to use in this program. I find it's picky. It still needs a bit more improvement because there's no way to set actual true values of like how much this spacing really is, like to jump. I guess more improved grid. Anyways, let's keep going. I'm just gonna build the whole exterior, and again, just hold shift. There's a bit of a lip on in this model, so I want the lip to be on the inside. This is like the bathroom, I think, wall. So here's another problem. It's gonna go through, but again, I guess. Oh, here's a problem. Look at that. Look at that. It previewed it as being much higher than it actually places it. It's interesting. Don't know why that is. But hey, it's working. This would be such an easy process if I could just hold shift and just draw, and it would just draw a line of them. I don't know why that's not the case. I still don't know. Because you can't place an object twice over itself, can you? Oh, I guess you can. Never mind. So we're almost done with the whole box. Now let's try to build inside. And you see how it just snaps together. It just works really well. Originally this did not work very well because the original segments from FPS Creator actually looked like this. So I had to go in and alter their, the center of their origin point, or however you call it. Oh, look at that problem right there. Another problem is I don't know how to select multiple things, right? There's no way to move them along the grid because it doesn't have like an extraction. It doesn't have, like, when you move them, it's precise now. Precise. It's kind of just, and I don't want that because it's not going to connect properly when I use the snapping with it. It's too bad you can't copy and paste groups either. Fuck. That's annoying. Don't know how that happened. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Ugh, gotta get in there. Okay, so we've done that part. Now, let's test it out. And now you have a very interesting structure. You see, there isn't any real clipping going on, even though it is clipped. The player cannot see it from the inside, so this is very good that you cannot see it. I believe you can change the sound of the material we're walking on. Right now it sounds like a metal grate. So now we're going to add a ceiling. Let's use the plaster one. So the ceiling, now I've been thinking about this. I haven't figured out if I want to make it where it would already be up here, like it would already be hitting page up, by the way, but this is not the way you're going to be doing this, because it's not going to align if you're manually doing each piece. It's going to be too time consuming. Now, do I make it where I raise the platforms in frag motion so that when someone's using this, they have it look like this when they bring it in the editor? It's hovering off the ground, and that way if you hit page up with the grid, it keeps jumping at the appropriate height. I've been thinking about that, but here's how it looks with the grid. So you switch to grid. Here it says grid down here. So now it's stuck on the grid like it's supposed to be. You hit page up, and there it is. Again, you're holding shift, and if we can just paint, like if an update can include the ability to actually paint the grid, my goodness, you'd be building complex structures in no time, in seconds. It's only tedious because I have to keep clicking and I have to hold shift each time. It's not like there's a draw mode option up here or something. It's very tedious. You could technically go over the entire area with this, even to places where the player cannot go. Depends how much, if you're running out of memory and such, you might not want to fill the entire thing with a ceiling. I'm sure there's gaps where the player will never see. But anyways, so this is one possible solution for creating ceilings. I still have to look at more options because we're going to be doing multi-floors, right? At some point with this, maybe. And I want to see how it works. So now that I've done that, I've enclosed it. So now if we test it, it's going to look like an actual interior structure. Okay, that didn't work because the editor drops you, I guess, from the ceiling down if you don't have a player marker in place. So let's put a marker. Another thing about Game Guru is it relies so heavily on terrains that markers are kind of hard to see and spot indoors. So I'm going to start out here because you're going to get lost clicking on all these things trying to click this, because I'll show you. It's going to be crazy frustrating. There's definitely a problem I have with Game Guru, and that is this. So I have the player marker there. If you try to reselect it, you're going to end up selecting the ground. There's no way for us to know what we really have selected that I can tell. I mean, where in this editor does it tell me? It should say right up here above position, it should say player marker. But if you click properties, it'll tell you, but you get thrown all over the place in the editor. So they should make it where this name appears up here, so we know what the fuck we're selecting. Because you know, hitting lock or whatever, what did that even lock? Yeah, hitting lock makes things invisible, so you can select other things like, okay, it's just frustrating. And I forgot how to unlock. Okay, it was, I think I held space. I don't know. Anyways, I have a lot of issues still, but there's like so minor to most people, I guess, that I might never see them fixed. Here we go. We have an interior space. It did not take that long. It would be a lot faster if you can draw. So that's that. If you add bloom, you know, you get those shadows at the bottom. You get a lot of kind of a cool atmosphere you can create with this. I've knocked light rays completely off, vegetation completely off, water and reflections completely off, terrain you can knock completely off. This will save you some FPS in some way, I believe. I've just dropped them and don't know if I've gained anything. I've gained 1. Here's another thing. Drop the grass off, terrain completely off, and it should raise it even more. Maybe? No? Shadow. You know, you can play with those settings. I like to have the global specular all the way up so the shaders really look nice. Oh, but is that what's causing that though? Or is that the bloom? Yeah, that's the bloom. Yeah. Well, that's with the flashlight. So if you drop the ambient lighting, let's bring in some fog. I've kind of set this kind of mood going on here. Kind of creepy in a way. And I don't know why light is shooting through the tops here. I don't know what that's about. The only way to fix that is turning off shadows though, which sucks. It really sucks that you have to do that. So let's drop the ambient down. Let's change the fog color perhaps to black. That way you can't see, like it looks pretty scary as far as you can see. Where is it? There's a good distance. Bring the intensity up. Yeah, check that out. Now it really looks like you're in a dark place. Now the ground is always lit because of the surface, so let's do that. You kind of want at least some lighting on the surface because you don't want them completely in the dark, do you? They might think something's wrong with the game. Now there's no way to really fix this unless you're assigning a different type of shader to the ground. But yeah, now it looks pretty scary, doesn't it? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to place some lights in here, and trust me, it's going to look really good. Something new I noticed, and I really hope I'm not accidentally using the beta here, but the lighting object actually has an object now. You can actually see where the lights are in the 3D space. which is great. You're not going to get lost. You're not going to lose it when you're doing interior spaces. So thanks for that. I do like that. It shows that it's like a 360 direction of lighting. And there you go. We're going to light certain areas up. Properties. Looks like there's different kinds of lights, but we're just going to use this one. I'm going to turn this down to maybe 100. The light range and the colors, you can either have warm or cool. We can have more than warm or cool. I mean, you can, something happened. Kind of glitched there. I picked for color and it's not showing up. Oh shit. Okay, I just hit escape. I don't know what happened there. Okay, there's something wrong going on here. And it's not on my second monitor. Strange. I guess I'll have to select from here. I'm going to go with this kind of a cyan color. What does that look like? Now, that lighting is here. Because of the fog, though, kind of gets in the way, so there you go. Look at that. How awesome does that look? Kind of reminds me of the Slender Man games. And that light really, you can see it from a great distance. Of course, you might want to build some type of light source, like a light bulb or some stand or something. If you had like it flickering, you could have maybe fire, and we do have decals for that now, brought from the FPS stock again. There's just so much stuff that came with FPS Creator, that so much. We're talking thousands of things you can select from objects to decals being like smoke and fire and all kinds of stuff, and particles. Of course, I don't think GameGrow fully supports particles yet, like with birth and death rates and all that, but look at that. I think that looks pretty nice. If you bring the lighting all the way down, look at that. You can have a game that's just so dark where you just have lights kind of indicating where the player should go. I like to have a little bit more lighting than that, just so that the player can actually see kind of where he can go, roughly. And you don't know what people's vision's like. So, yeah, and you got the flashlight. It's cool. So, try some different lights. I'm always scared to drop the lighting in the interior as a start, because I don't want to grab the ceiling and stuff. So, but let's try red. I'm going to leave it at that intensity. It's right where the player starts. Well, the light seems to be going through the wall, but I don't think it's going to do that during the playlet. We'll test it later. My god, that's bright. Let's see. Well, you know what? I could have selected the cyan light from here. Didn't have to make a custom one. For this, I want it to be very small, just to do a test of what lighting looks like at a very small percentage, or value rather. Okay, so now we can jump into throwing in objects. Let's go to the awesome classic stuff we have. I hope convert some of this over. Some of this stuff. There's a lot of cool medical stuff. That's not medical. That's medieval. Modern day 2. This stuff's really old, but still holds up. It still looks good. to this day. I mean, the odds. So you can either place stuff by snapping it. Where is it? Snap. Let's see if that snap actually works. Yeah, this allows it to not, like, if you do it manually, you're gonna have parts of it maybe in or out, but that's okay. That's not a bad thing. But for me, you know what? I'm gonna do the normal because you get more control over it. So I don't like things always being completely 100% on a grid when it comes to clutter and objects and desks and things, because we're not that perfect as human beings when we design our interior spaces, are we? Depends. So so that's there. In fact, I like that there's a whole red light over there. That, what could we do with that? So this object here, I'm pressing R to rotate, page up to raise it up. Let's see if the snapping mode works, because this thing sticks to a wall. So did it stick? No. Okay, I converted these really quickly back when I was helping out with that, but there's actually a thing you can include in the FPE that'll make it snap to walls, just like an FPS creator. I always talk about FPS creator, but that's where all this stuff worked pretty well. That's, so that's there. A cigarette machine. Does it exist anywhere still? I don't know. I don't smoke. A gumball machine. Oh, is it a gumball machine? Oh, it's got toys. Huh. Okay, again, I don't know what I'm selecting. You know what? It's because when you select something, it should maybe turn green or something. There's no way for me to know what the fuck I'm selecting. Sorry, I swear a lot, but it's like I don't know what I'm selecting. I'm guessing I have it selected because the cursor's up here. So, but it doesn't say what name it is. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't have like a green glow to it or something. I'm expecting that for some reason. Anyways. It's funny, this is like kind of like a bathroom texture going on here, and yet it's like, what am I actually building here? I have no idea. Because these aren't actually rooms yet, because I haven't gone past how to make doors work yet. So you see what snapping can do? If you're building these filing cabinets, pretty awesome. Take it off of snapping and you can do some fun stuff. Oh, I hope this works. Should work. Oh my god, this is so frustrating. So what I'm trying to do is grab the blue here. Okay, there it is. Oh god, it's so frustrating. There you go. It's leaning against there. Like it fell. A random piano. Why not? Why not? And a computer server. Now we're going to test what we built. There should be new lighting there and a bunch of objects. Look how red. Oh, of course the FPS is very low. Oh man. I'm not using my later graphics card right now, but oh man, that's really low. Okay, I think I just helped it out by moving the terrain. Oh, that's not doing anything. There's no way to hide the sky, no way to hide the terrain or vegetation. And, well, there's a way to hide the vegetation of water, actually. Turn the water off here and the vegetation off here, but there's no way to really hide the terrain and skybox within the editor here. It'd be cool if it said none here or something. And for terrain, none, maybe? Even though this is more for the setting of the textures to load onto the mesh of the terrain and the skybox. But anyways, let's go. It's sluggish. That's unfortunate. Check out that the lighting from the yellow and the red is actually merging in an interesting way. That's cool. And then with the flashlight, you see what it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. And if you don't want to have it all dark, so the red lighting here is coming through the wall. It's too bad. See, you're going to want to narrow down the size of the light so that it doesn't peek through holes like this or through the walls like this. Shrink that red thing up, like that red light, make it much smaller, and just have multiple ones here, the small ones here, if you want to light this whole thing red, so it doesn't go through the wall. Yeah, so let's see what it looks like. Now, kind of spooky. Kind of spooky. Now it's kind of spooky. Look at that. You don't know what's in front of you. Look at that. That's great. Yeah, let's see if we can add a character there now. See if it actually will work on the floor indoors. The Grendel? Ooh, creepy. Let's put him in the here. Of course, his limbs are probably going to come through the wall, aren't they? Now, where's the player marker? Can we see it from up here? Yes, we can. That's cool. Awesome. Now, selecting it's going to be a headache. I'm unable to select the player. Oh, this is annoying. Wow. That's the tile. Wow, this is fucking annoying. Holy shit. Well, that's annoying. I'm gonna give him a weapon. Let's give him a a slingshot. How about a knife? He's got a knife. His health 100. Blood effects. Gravity, full speed. Oops, now I'm outside. That was a mistake. Alright. And we're back. I accidentally hit the shortcut key that would stop the recording, so I didn't realize I wasn't recording the rest of it, and I didn't save the level, so I just redid everything in a different way, and let's test it out. Now this time around I didn't do as good a job with the ceiling as you can see up there, but here we are in a new horror game we just put together quickly. Look at that guy running around the corner after him. Yikes. Whoa. See the... Oh, he's an ugly guy. Kind of fell through the ground though. Interesting. I don't know if he's set to ragdoll. I'm gonna have to change that later maybe. But you get the idea. So yeah, that's pretty much how you can build a quick interior. And hopefully in the next update I have a better way of making multi levels and also taking care of this issue right here. At the corners there should be a small piece that you can place in there. Of course in original FPS Creator it would take care of that for you, but we gotta do some workarounds for Game Guru. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you do enjoy seeing the development of things within Game Guru in this kind of commentary fashion, and you want to see more of them, yeah, hit subscribe, like, let me know. There's a lot more ideas I have to better improve the assets that are there. I mean, again, I love the stuff from FPS Creator, so I'd love to continually develop and fix them and make them more workable within Game Guru. Again, thanks for watching. Tune in next time.